Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Rami and this is Monica and we're Original Intent. I just wanted to jump on here and talk about when your future doesn't go as planned. I I was a missionary with YWAM. I loved it. It was so amazing. I have so many highs. I have so many lows as well. Um, but something happened when I was um,
After a very high in your life.
yeah, after the highest point in my life where I was seeing miracles, um, prophesying, preaching, leading worship in front of tons and tons of people, healing the sick. Actually, I don't know if me praying for someone ever healed the sick, just to be vulnerable there, but I led young people, and then they would pray and people would get healed and prophesy and just seeing demons cast out, like just the biggest high of my life. And the biggest high of my life, the 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 greatest low of my life also happened. So what was happening was I had a prophecy from a close friend. Actually, she told me, hey, don't you think maybe there's a season where you go back to America? And in my heart I was like, no. And I think the problem was that I had felt that where else would I go but YWAM to do what I'm doing? There's nowhere else. There's nothing else. And I feel like um, God. Hi, David Gava. I'm actually talking about my journey
With
after
YWAM.
Kingdom School. Yeah, with YWAM. Um, so so the really amazing thing um, is that when that happened, I realized um, that I had been putting God in a box. I had been saying that um, like I can't do this without YWAM,
Yeah.
and that my future is not.
It's dependent on.
It's dependent on a ministry. It's dependent, and actually my life came crashing down. Like I really got like so much depression, suicide. Like it felt like the end, and so I had to get help. I had to get I actually had to go back to America eventually, and David Gava was an amazing part of that, where he released me so like from the ministry, and felt a lot of love and compassion in the process. Um, but basically, what happened was that through the process, like I had to discover like how to heal that, and I believe like one of the greatest um, things that I discovered, because throughout the whole time I was still connected with God. I really felt like
His
the Lord. I
presence.
really felt like I really heard Him, which is crazy. Some people like stop hearing the Lord through hard times like depression and suicide, and even when you fall like in sin. I still heard the Lord so loudly, but like I guess the gifts are irrevocable as well. So um, amazing journey, and then I realized that, um, and I kind of stumbled onto this not on purpose. So I would sit in my car and um,
You'd be triggered or pain.
I'd be
would
triggered
come up.
or pain would come up, and I would sit there and I realized that normally I would run from the pain. Normally I would
Like distract or
distract or
suppress.
suppress, and I realized that why am I running from something that is ultimately not it won't have victory over me. Why would I run from that? You know? So what I did was I sat there and said, "Wow, this is really tough. This is really hard." And when you don't run from fear, when you confront the fear with love, this is what the Bible teaches, right? When you confront it with pain, with compassion, with love, unconditional love, when you don't abandon yourself and say like I'm too scared to like confront this. Like if this comes up, this is what was happening, like in my mind. And I don't know if this happens with you. I think this happens with a lot of people when you start numbing yourself. Is that when pain comes up, you want to stuff it because you're like, surely if this pain comes up, it's going to destroy me, right? But um, I did not find healing from running and stuffing and ignoring the pain, I found healing when I confronted it. But confronted it didn't look like a battle. It looked like compassion and love towards myself, and
feeling it.
feeling it. And you know what happened was that I started realizing that I was a powerful person, and that I didn't have to run from the pain, run from the depression, run from the suicidal thoughts, and even my past. When I got restoration, you'd go by somewhere and you just get triggered, so triggered because you remember that, like, the failure, and having compassion of yourself and loving yourself through pain, like it's see, God made us for love and compassion, and so, like, when we treat ourselves like that, we're treating ourselves like God is treating us, and then the freedom actually chases us. So it's living from a place and position of power.
And can I just also touch on just whenever our future doesn't go as we plan, there can often be shame attached to that.
That's exactly it.
And so feelings of failure, disappointment, like I should be further than I am, and being able to meet yourself with that love rather than abandoning yourself or judging yourself is actually the most powerful place that you can be, to be able, one, to get free from that shame, and two, to be able to move forward.
Yeah. And in the process, your relationships get healed, like with others, with yourself, and then also God, because you're not running away from and saying, like, this pain is too big or too scary.
Yeah, and the shame ultimately. So we dive deep into unraveling shame in our group coaching program, the Eden Intensive, and I'm so passionate about teaching Christians how to identify and unravel shame, because I honestly believe shame is the most destructive emotion. It tears down our self-identity, our self-worth, confidence, just at every level. It like destroys who we are. And so being able to powerfully address that shame, I a little bit forgot where I was going with this, but being able to powerfully address that shame,
it brings you a lot of freedom, really.
Yeah.
It brings you a lot of freedom.
And in multiple areas of life. Like, you would be surprised how much shame may be affecting every area of your life. That could be the way you show up with your family, the way you show up at work, even potentially, like, sometimes we take on personality traits where we're like, oh, I'm just quiet, but maybe that actually might be like a fear of rejection or the shame from the past of feeling like you weren't seen.
Right.
So
you're probably asking yourself at this point, if you feel like any of these things, if any of these things have happened to you, like, so how do I heal these things? How do we work through these things? And that's why we actually, because in the process of healing, we actually had a really hard time finding solutions. We actually had a hard time finding even pastors or who knew actually how to work through this. So we created the Eden Intensive for this matter, and we're actually enrolling right now the Eden Intensive, and we're gonna put the link below because we know that people are gonna be like wondering about this at this point. So if you're interested, we're gonna put the link to book a call with us, and you'll be actually talking directly to us, and we would love to chat with you guys. And have an amazing rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.